Can y'all hear me? Difficulties, huh? Uh, everybody. Hold up, hold up. What's up? What's up? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. You looking good?
Thank you, thank you. I try.
Oh, you're welcome. So I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes to let a couple of stragglers come on in. You out and about, huh?
Well, I just flew in from LA, so now I'm taking a lift. Where we gotta go?
Okay, okay. I'm not gonna take up too much time. I know you gotta get your day going.
We're just riding in the car. We got a while to ride.
Oh, okay.
Got about 30
Bad.
minutes.
Okay. So that's perfect actually. That's perfect. All right,
You have
y'all.
your
I'm
page set to
a
public?
let me go make sure I got that, y'all. Hold on.
Because if your
I'm
page is
glad
private,
you.
nobody's going to be able to see it.
Okay. Give me a second. It doesn't look like it is because there are different people coming on through. So, but let me just go back and
Okay.
double check that. Thank you. My girl. Okay. Good. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So welcome, everybody to MBATB. No beating around the bush. You know, I'm actually going live today. My girl throwing me out there. I like it. It's time for that. It's time to get my feet wet. So first I want to introduce who I have with me, who I have the pleasure of speaking with. I have MaeBae with me. She is a mom, a wife, a social media influencer, amongst, I'm pretty sure, many other things. And if you join her page, you'll see for yourself. She was gracious enough to speak with us today, so I appreciate you for that. Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right. So today we are going to discuss the unfortunate death of Nita, who was MaeBae's sister. And for first, I'd like to say that I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I know how much you loved her and still do. So we're going to discuss how her death affected you, you know, and where you are today. But before we begin, take it back a little bit for me and just give me a little brief, or give, for those who don't know, a brief description, a little bit about Nita and who she was and what she meant to
Okay.
you.
I'll kind of like go from her birth and then skip. Like,
Gotcha.
okay, so Nita is my big sister. We're 3 years apart. She was born a preemie. She was 3 pounds, 11 ounces. And she had severe lung problems when she was born. So she wasn't supposed to make it. She was a miracle baby. So she made it. And she was born June 1st, 1978. And when she was 17 years old, she got in a car accident caused by her boyfriend who tried to kill her. Nita was in the back seat riding with 3 other people in the car. Nita was ejected out the car, broke her crown of her head all the way around her skull, broke her neck in 2 places, broke her spine, ruptured her spleen, lost her spleen because it ruptured. And that's a filtration for your body that you need that would years later cause her death. So,
Wow.
Nita lived from 17. She was pulled, the plug was pulled on Nita 2 weeks after she was in the hospital. They said she was brain dead and she would not make it. So I flew out from Arkansas, because that's where we're originally from,
Okay.
and came to see my sister off. because she was supposed to die. And I didn't want to not say goodbye to my sister because that's all I knew was her, you know.
Right.
Me and Nita grew up in foster care slash whatever. We had a whole lot that we went through, but we was dogs, you know. That was my sister, my big sister. And, you know, we ain't went through nothing without each other, literally. So
That's what's
I
up.
wasn't going to let her go through her last breath without me. And I was only 14 years old at the time, you know. But I
But
just
be
felt
after
like we
that.
had already lost our mama. Our mama got
Mm,
murdered, you know, when I was 10. Nita was 13. They shipped us to California. I went back home. Nita stayed here. Nita ended up getting with the wrong crowd, doing drugs, doing all types of things she shouldn't be
mm,
doing at her young age. Got with a boyfriend who was possessive and was basically like, if I can't have you, nobody can type thing. So he was pushing the car she was in, like hitting it, and it went to
mm.
the outer highway and it hit a fire truck head on. And she was ejected out the car. And
Oh my God.
the driver died instantly. The passenger broke his pinky, and the girl in the back was
Mm,
Nita, lost 6 feet of intestines and broke her hips and her legs. So
ooh,
Nita was hurt the worst besides the person that was deceased, you know.
mm-hmm.
So Nita went to a subacute unit in Hemet Valley Medical Center where she was kept until I took her out. I tried to take her out when I was 18 because I felt like my sister should be around somebody that she actually knows, not strangers. And
Absolutely.
I just felt like since my mom was dead, it was my job to take care of my mama's daughter.
That
So that's what I felt like I should do. So my daddy was a heroin addict and wouldn't let me take her out the hospital because then he wouldn't have access to her money. I
oh.
didn't know Nita had money though at the time at
Mm-hmm.
all. But she had, you know, because the city, because she actually hit the fire truck, you
Right.
know, they had to pay her a victim something fund or whatever. I don't know anything about that part because my dad had already depleted it way before Nita even got out the hospital. My daddy
Right.
spent it all. So
Wow.
when my dad died, he exploded his heart. He OD'd. And I took Nita out the hospital. I went and stayed 30 days and 30 nights with her. Well, 31 days and 30 nights to make sure that they could train me to take care of her because I had never took care of somebody like her and I didn't want to hurt her or kill her, you know. So I didn't want to do anything that would cause her any harm. So I got trained by 16 different doctors at the subacute unit in Hemet Valley Medical Center in California. And once they signed me off one by one that I knew what I was doing, I took Nita home. Because when my
Mm-hmm.
dad died, they were going to put Nita in a regular nursing home. And I didn't want her to go to a nursing home. I wanted her to come home with me. Because I felt like no matter how much time she had left on this earth, at least she could spend it knowing that somebody that she knows loves her, that really
Exactly.
knows her, you know, because it's more personal.
Yep. And nobody's going to
So,
take care of her like you will. You
right.
know,
So,
nobody's going to do what you
in the
do.
beginning, it was hard and I didn't really know still what I was doing. And I tried though, you know, and every year I would find a better way to do something or, you know, try to pick up on new healthcare tips or, you know, teach myself as I went. You know, certain
Right.
things don't work, you try something else, you know. And since I'm from the South, you know, we got a lot of home remedies
Yeah.
that we use instead
Yeah.
of, you know, the doctor stuff. And it seemed
Mm-hmm.
like the home remedies always work better for Nita than the doctors prescriptions, you know. So I just kept using it and kept doing whatever came to my mind. You know, the mother's wit you have as a mother. When that
Right.
kick in, it was the same with her. If I wouldn't do it for my baby, I wasn't gonna do it for her. You know.
Exactly.
So I had my son while I had Nita. I was in the hospital, pushed him out, went home, changed her, came back to the hospital immediately, right after I did it, because nobody was there to change her. And I couldn't leave her, you know, dirty. So I
Exactly.
kept going and leaving the hospital every 3 hours. And they were like, hey, you can't do that. And I'm like, why? I had a natural. I'm good.
Right. I'm
You know,
going to do it. Right.
like,
I'm not
I'm leaving,
asking. Right.
no
I'm not
matter what you
asking.
say. So I had to feed her and make sure she was good, you know. So I
Yeah.
did. I went above and beyond for my sister, as you should. It wasn't.
Damn
It, to
right.
me, it ain't nothing to, you know. It ain't nothing to get a pat on the back for. It's just what you do for your family. Period.
Exactly.
If you
It's
really
what you should
love
do.
your family, that's just what you're supposed to do. Um,
Exactly.
so Needle got sick the last 6 years of her life. She started
Mm.
getting sick because a nurse came to my house and drew her blood, but she poked Nita 13 times with the same needle. And I kept telling her, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Now, I'm not a doctor or a nurse, but I know that's not right. And she said, oh, it's a wipe it with alcohol.
Yeah.
Stick the needle in. And I'm like, but you're taking bacteria from one part of her body and putting it on another part. I don't care how clean
Absolutely.
you are,
Clearly.
you're still dirty. And so
Clearly.
sure enough, Nita had a big abscess on her leg, and it ended up going into her organs and wrapped around her kidneys and in all her stomach. She looked 9 months pregnant. She was full of septic waste or toxic whatever, pus
Oh,
and stuff. It was gross.
right.
And I had the doctor kept telling me, oh, just wait till tomorrow. No, her leg, Nita was skinny, and her leg was huge at this time,
Right.
like as big as mine, and I'm a big girl. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that ain't right. I called the paramedics, and they said if you wouldn't have brought her in 5 minutes, she'd have been dead. And the sepsis was going to her heart. It was killing her. So
Right.
they put a PICC line into her heart and gave her antibiotics, put her in ICU. She coded. They brought her back. She had to have 6 surgeries to drain it. I lost her again. They brought her back. The surgeon said, I just want to know if she dies, what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, save her unless she's brain dead
Right.
all the
Right.
way. Bring her back because her job's not done here. So from that, her kidneys started failing. They said
Mm-hmm.
she had renal kidney failure, but her kidneys could jumpstart again because she only had acute, failure.
Okay.
So
Right.
they jump start again, but they were still damaged. From that point forward, it seemed like Nita never got rid of the whole infection. Like it would never completely go away. She would be good for a little while, and every 6 months, here it come again with a vengeance. Like a part of it just wasn't out of her body or something,
Yeah.
or her body was so used to the antibiotic that it wouldn't kill it. Either or, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it would be the same infection every single time. And we would say, well, how is she keep getting it? Like, where is it coming from?
What
They're
were they
like,
doing
well,
to fight it? What were they
they were
doing?
giving her the best antibiotics they could, but those antibiotics were killing her at the same time.
Okay.
At the
Okay.
same time, the antibiotics were helping her, they
Right.
were killing her. So if eventually the antibiotics shut down her pancreas, which made her a diabetic, and we had
Yeah.
no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she was a diabetic until she went into a seizure and started bleeding out her mouth and her neck, and I'm holding her, and I'm like, what is going on? And
Bleeding
I
out of
don't
her
know.
neck?
Yeah, she had bit a hole through her tongue when she was having a seizure,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she had a hole from her trach when she
Okay.
was in
Okay.
the hospital.
Right.
So I didn't know where the blood was coming from, if she was internally bleeding from her
Right.
brain or at this point,
Damn, son.
because she had been seasoned for over 30 minutes.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Damn.
I thought she was going to die then. She coded again. They took her and put her in ICU. And
Right.
I just told her, like, okay, I think this is it, And I was trying to prepare myself to let her go then. But she made it again.
Yeah.
She just kept bouncing back.
Right.
And the last 2 years, I told my husband, I said, I don't think she's going to be around much longer. He said, quit saying that. Why you say that? And I said, because I deal with her daily. And I know
You know her
things are
habits and her.
changing.
Right.
She's
Right.
not doing the same thing. She's not bouncing back. She had a bad seizure 2 years, before that 2 years started.
Mm-hmm.
And she never came back right. She never bounced back all the way.
Okay.
So now she's in stage 4 kidney failure. She's got she's got diabetes, where she takes 2 shots a day. Now they done put her on hospice. The doctor said they don't want to take care of her anymore. They're done. That there's nothing more they can do.
Yeah.
We'll put her on hospice and let her go.
And let her just live out her days.
So I just said,
Wow.
wait, can't get a dialysis. Like,
Yeah.
what you mean? Like, help her, do something. And they're like, there's nothing we can do. Nothing. The insurance won't pay for it. So I said, well, I'm going to use
They
all my
kill
money from
me.
social media. I'm going to
Exactly.
use all my money from social media, because that's what I'm doing it for, to give her the better care. I'll pay for it. They said, we will not touch
Love
her
it.
because it's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
So they felt like if they even tried, it would have been a lawsuit waiting, because
Yeah,
if she
because they
died,
said she's too weak. She's gonna die
right?
regardless. And then
Okay,
you're
so
gonna
from a
sue
medical
us.
standpoint, they're
They
just
said,
like, you
then
know
you're
what?
gonna sue us because you're gonna say that we killed her or did something wrong. They admitted they dropped the ball on Nita. They admitted that they messed up when they came to the house and did what they did. They admitted that I could have sued them if
Yeah.
she didn't die when she died, but they didn't say it till after she was dead.
Wow. That's messed up. So you just froze. Let me see. Sorry, y'all. Got bad connection here. You all know how it goes. Sorry. I know y'all really don't want to see me anyway. Not this face. Stuck with it. There you are.
Okay,
All
yeah, I'm
right.
going
All
up
right.
the hill
I'm
and
a,
it made my service go out.
oh, we good. We good, people. We just gotta be patient. We good. Um, you still here with me? You there? All right. I'm gonna take it back a
Can you
little
hear me
bit
or no?
to when can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I'm gonna take it back to when you all were kids. So when you all were kids, how was your relationship with Nita as a child? Like, how were y'all real close? I know you said you all were close, but tell me a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
Nita was a psychopath, literally. Like, she was my
Okay.
father's child. She
Okay.
was a little demon, if you will.
Okay. Okay.
Um, the sister that I grew up with was not the sister that I ended up with. The sister I ended up with was a breath of fresh air because when my sister died at 17, when
Mhm.
she snapped her neck and died,
Mhm.
and they brought her
Mhm.
back, I got a whole new sister, which was so different than the other one. I
Wow.
always was close with my sister, no matter how much of a demon she was,
Yeah.
because I knew she couldn't help herself. She was mentally messed up, you know. I was still my
Like
dog, regardless.
a victim of circumstance, would you say?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I feel
So
like she
so
didn't know any better. She just
exactly.
did
Like,
whatever her mind told her to do.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and if we're not taught like from a child to be a certain way, you kind of just
Well,
wing it
she had
and
mental
you know.
issues. She had mental health issues, like my father.
Ah,
So she
okay.
was
So
a
there's a
demon
whole
for
another
real.
aspect. Okay, okay. So she had some psychological issues that were
Yeah,
mixed
she
all
got it
up in
from my father. Hmm.
there. Okay, okay. So now you are faced with this. So I mean, like you said, you love her because that was your sister, but a demon child is not a good thing. Like to reference someone
Yeah,
as a demon child.
it was
So
hard. It
now
was really
I
hard.
can imagine. So now she's not that demon child. She's no longer that. She's almost like a baby again. And now the tides have turned, or the
Hmm.
tables have turned, and you are now the big sister, the caretaker, the provider. So did you feel any resentment? Like, did any of that ever come back? Like, hold up, you never
No,
feel
because
none of that?
I felt like I said from jump, I always knew she had a mental problem. Like, I just
That's messed
excused it
up.
because I knew
That
she had a
you.
problem. My dad had a problem, so I knew she had one because they act the same, you know. And
That's real
I just
big.
felt like she couldn't handle it. Like she couldn't help herself, you know. She did a lot of bad things to me, you know, a lot. And
Do you
when she
mind sharing
became
a couple? Do you mind sharing just a couple, like
yeah,
something?
she molested me, my own
Okay.
sister.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
She would hold me down and spit in my mouth. Like, she was
Okay.
bad. Like, she was
Right,
horrible.
right, right.
Blame me
Mm.
for stuff, have her boyfriends rape me. She did a lot of things to me she shouldn't have never did. But like I
Let me
said,
tell
when
you,
she
let me,
broke
let me
her
stop you
neck,
real quick. I want to tell you something real quick. Like, I really, really, this is serious, and this is, we just meeting. I really commend you to not hold on, because you
mhm.
never got an apology. I'm assuming you never got
No, no,
any
no, I did. I
acknowledgement. Oh,
did.
you did?
I did. I did.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
after her brain damage, I was talking
That's
to her
good.
one day and I said, Nita, you may not remember, but I need to tell you what you did to me. And I just need you to know that I love you. And no matter
Yeah,
what, it's okay. You know, before she died, I made sure we talked about it again. And she said, I'm sorry. And
I
I
love
don't
you for that.
remember.
I love you for that. Seriously, on some real, because the fact that you still took care of her, and it never was addressed until you were already forced with take, well, not forced, you did it because you should, took care of your sister. Like, you could have just left her, because you could have been one of them like, shit, all the shit she did to me. But
Right.
I love you for that, because not a lot of people have that, and they should, but
We
that's
went through
big.
so much, like
Right.
together, that I felt like it was only natural for her to be off, because
Yeah,
look at what all she endured, and look at what we've been through. Like, thank God I didn't become her. And
exactly.
I just felt like it was teaching me not to be her and not to be anything like her. And
Mhm.
I felt like she was just a psycho that didn't know any better.
Mhm. Mhm.
And for anybody to hurt their own sister and then love me at the same time is just like, dang, what's wrong with you?
Oh, you're right.
Like, you can't know no better. You
Absolutely.
can't. I know some people are born special, and she was just a different type of special. So when my sister was going to die, was, and they pulled the plug, I was just like, it's so sad because she never got a chance to fix herself.
Right. Right.
She
Right.
never got a chance to make it right.
Yeah.
So when she lived, and I'm the first one that she ever talked to, I'm the first one that she ever, when she came out of her coma, that she spoke to. And I was like, do you remember who I am? And once I
Right.
knew that she didn't remember my name, I couldn't
Uh,
hold anything against her at all. She didn't even know my name,
that's still big, because you could have
you
treated
know?
her any. You had the choice at that moment when you decided
But
to
that was,
take care of her, to treat her any kind of way. And it's
yeah,
some
but
evil
I could
people in the
never.
world.
Yeah, I
I
could
love
never. There
that.
would be no point. I could have just left her where she was if I wanted to be evil. Like, I just felt like I could make a difference with her. And she, like I said, after her wreck, she wasn't the same person. And you could tell she
Right.
wasn't. And I felt like I got a chance to have a good sister now. And I got a chance to make a difference. And I got a chance to make it right with both of us, even though I'm the little sister.
Exactly. Because it doesn't matter, little, big, who cares? But
I just
somebody
felt
got to
like
do it.
my mama would want me to. So I did what I felt like my mama would have wanted me to do.
So your mother, speaking of her, because it seems like you got that. There's the love. Your mother,
Hmm.
like you got that. So your mother, I heard you mention that she passed away earlier in your life, before your sister, of course. You were 12. What'd you say?
I
I
was
think you said
10.
12. 10.
10.
So how was she, like, in your life?
I knew
She
my
was
mom for
loving.
4 years. My mom was in a
Okay.
penitentiary before that, and I was in foster care.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
time I was 16 months old till 6. I
Okay.
knew my mom for
Okay.
4 years. I loved her, adored her. She was very much like me, didn't give a damn what nobody thinks. Uh,
And I like that about
she
you, and
was
that's
like
why my
she
wife and I
was like
follow
that.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's why we
She
follow
was
you.
like that, very
Absolutely.
outspoken, very blunt, but had the sweetest heart you could ever find. And
That's
I
what's up.
feel like I am my mom. I am a lot like her. And
Yeah.
Nita was like my father. They had one and one. And I just feel like my mom was a good person, but she didn't make the right decisions either. She died at
Mm.
32. She got killed. And if she would have been taking care of her kids and stayed at home like she should have, she wouldn't have been dead, maybe.
So did that have a when now thinking back, like you said about your mother, that when you had your kids, did you put that in your mind? I
Oh
will
yeah, I
never.
didn't go
Because I
clubbing.
hear
I
you
didn't
talk
do
about
none
your
of the stuff
kids.
that my mom did, like at all.
Yeah.
My mom would sleep with men in front of us, like all kinds of crazy stuff I've been
Hmm.
through.
Hmm.
And I would never
Right.
expose my children to it. Yes, I'm poly, but that doesn't mean I expose my children to any sexual aspects at all in
Exactly.
my life.
Exactly.
Anybody that does is a weirdo. But you
Period.
know, you know.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from their failures, all of them. My dad, her,
I
my
see.
mom, my sister, all of them. I learned a lot from what they did. I learned not to do drugs because it leaded them all to death. They're all dead,
Hmm.
you
And
know, and
that's
I want
good,
to
because it
live.
could have had a reverse. It could have had a reverse effect on you, where you
Yeah,
went
it
down
could have
that
been a
same
lot of
path.
things. Yeah, it
Hmm.
could have
Right.
been a
Right. You
lot of
could have been.
things.
So, like I
I
said,
was on my
I don't
way,
care.
and then I went to jail and said, okay, hold up. Nope, I'm not doing this.
So you had a stint in jail. Okay.
Yeah, I went to jail. I did some time. I got
Okay.
out. I'm a felon with a strike, and I made it.
You damn sure did, and you're
Right.
continuing to do it, and you will continue.
Now, after I lost, thank you, and after I
Uh-huh.
lost Nita, I almost lost myself. I almost quit social media and everything
We were
because
going.
I couldn't face myself anymore. I felt like I didn't have a purpose anymore. I felt like I didn't have a reason to keep going because my biggest cheerleader was gone, you
I'm
know,
sorry.
and it made me lost. I was lost for like 6 months. I feel like I was just in a whole nother world. It's so crazy because like I couldn't imagine being there now, but I know how it was when I was there, you
Isn't
know.
it crazy? Isn't it
Yeah,
crazy? Like when
and
you're
it
in that,
really put me in a bad place,
yeah,
you know.
when you're in that place though, you don't see an outlet when you're in it. But when you finally make it out, you're like, damn, I can't even believe
And then
I
I
did. I
sat
went
there and
there.
I was looking at her picture the day that I
Hmm.
snapped out of it, and I
Hmm.
said, "Oh, they said I was gonna fail, huh, Nita?" I'm looking at her picture, talking to her
They,
like
they
a
go them
crazy
lyrics.
woman, and I
There go
said,
them lyrics.
"Oh, they thought I was gonna fail, huh? They want to see me fall. Watch this. If they thought I was doing something before with you, and I was stuck here at the house, imagine what I'm gonna do when I can move around and be
You ain't
free."
seen shit yet. I'm just
So I said,
starting.
"You about to see MaeBae everywhere. My life has just begun. Sit back and watch." And here we go.
And
And I've went full throttle ever since. Nita's death was a blessing and a curse all in the same thing. The reason why I said curse, or not a curse, but like, you know, a
yeah,
traumatic event
you lost your
was
sister.
because it hurt me, you know, and
Yeah.
it still hurts. But it don't hurt like it did. You know, I understand it. I don't have no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I don't live with no guilt or no none of that. I'm free. And
That's what's up. That's what I'm
she's
talking
free
about.
and we're good. You know what I'm saying? She's at my house chilling in her little pretty little urn with her necklace
Right,
around it, you know.
right.
And you know, she's good and I'm good, we're good, and that's that,
That's
you
what's
know.
up.
And
So tell me that.
it's
Tell
been
me
a
if
blessing.
that, and I see it, and your blessing is showing. Like I mean,
It's
and
been
I'm
a blessing.
happy. Like I want y'all, any of my people follow her. Like me and my wife loves you. And she
It's been
does.
a tremendous
Um,
blessing. The day that Nita died, I got put on World Star Hip Hop. I said, "Nita, I know that was you, baby." Like
the
as
day
soon as
she
it
died,
happened, the day she died, yeah, I was on
what'd you
World
get?
Star Hip Hop.
For what? For what
They
happened?
took somebody took one of my TikToks and said that I was holding a girl hostage in my back seat, and it was my daughter.
Oh,
It's on
and
there.
look
If you
at
go
you
to
now.
World Star Hip Hop, if you go to World Star Hip Hop and type in Polly, I pop right up.
I'm going. I'm going as soon as we get off of here. That is
It's
crazy.
there.
And then that launched it. I mean,
And
now you know, like
it
you
did for
said.
like a month, and then that died
Okay.
away. That died away,
Okay.
and then you know I just kept going hard. Like I'm not finna give up. Oh, y'all said I'm not gonna make it. Watch this. Oh, y'all said I'm not gonna do this. Watch this. Then everybody said, "Oh, Nita, they're living off of Nita's life insurance." I'm like, Nita was cremated. She didn't have life insurance, first of all, and they wouldn't give her life insurance if I wanted them to. Like you know,
But it
she was
wouldn't
dead.
be
She was terminally ill. They wouldn't give it to her. Period.
it wouldn't be right
But
if
even if
somebody
I
didn't say
did,
that
I
though.
paid for it.
You know?
But you know
Exactly.
what?
But
The
it
way
wouldn't
I
be
look at
right.
it is like, what does it matter? Don't you got it on your mama, your daddy, your granny, and everybody else? Ain't you gonna spend it
Exactly.
when they die?
People
Ain't
just
that what
want
it's
something to
for?
say. That just get just something to say. Even if that something is stupid, they just wanted to say.
But you know what?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, don't none of that stuff bother me because I don't give a damn. I don't
Well,
care.
I already
There's
know. I
nothing you
already
can
can tell by
say.
your
I've been through
personality.
so much, and I feel like God put me in this predicament to go through everything I needed to go through to get me to where I am, so I will be able to handle it on today and every
Right.
other day that comes this way. You know. So,
There you
you
go.
know, I
There
don't
you
care.
go.
It is
That's
what
what's
it
up.
is. It used to
That's the
bother
way it's
me back
supposed to be.
6 years ago, but nowadays, girl, please.
Exactly. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's when you know yourself though. When you get to the point where what they think about you doesn't matter, as long as you know you're a good person, like that's when you know you've reached here. Like you've reached that point, of self-worth,
Yeah,
of knowing yourself.
yeah,
So
I'm at
now,
peace with myself, knowing that I love me and I love who I've become. I've blossomed into a beautiful creature. You know,
yes, you
you know,
have.
and I'm still growing day by day, and I still plan on, you know, becoming the best me I can be daily. You know, am I gonna slip up? Yep. Am I gonna be a B word? Yep. Is there gonna be
Yeah.
times where I, you know, am not? perfect? Absolutely. But no matter what, this is my life, and I'm just welcoming everybody to it. So welcome to MaeBae life.
That's what's up. Then those things that you mentioned are things that we just call life. I mean, hey, I ain't say I was gonna be perfect. I'm
Absolutely.
trying to be the best I can be every day. That's all that is. That's
Absolutely.
all that is. So tell me this, has anybody ever said something crazy to you? Like, oh well, she's in a better place. Like, do you get not offended, but does that irritate you when people say, oh, you're still grieving? You should be okay now.
No, do their own thing, and everybody does their own way, and everybody, heals their own way and at
Sorry,
their
y'all.
own pace and their own time, and all that. So
Yeah.
I don't believe, I don't care. Like, people tell me all the time, like, your sister's better off without
What? I didn't know you were going to say that. Like, I laughed because
better off without you. And I'm like, well, maybe she is, because she doesn't have to be in pain anymore. Because in order for me to have her still, she would have to be in pain still, and be going through stuff still.
okay.
So yeah, you're absolutely correct. She is better
Yeah.
off without
From
you.
that
How about it?
perspective. Yeah, exactly. So from
You know,
that perspective, I can see it.
you
Yeah.
have to turn every negative into a positive. You can't keep looking at everything so negatively. You have to turn it into a positive, even if
There you
you
go.
can't see a way how to. You have to.
You do for your own sanity, for you to be okay. You have to. You can't let somebody else's negativity rub off on you.
But I gotta go
That's
into
so
this
true.
place and get this rental car.
Nope,
I
no
gotta go in
problem.
here.
Listen. Hey, tell everybody real quick. Yo,
Do it
where
again
can they
another
follow
time.
you?
MaeBae Life. You
Huh?
can follow me everywhere. All my social media is MaeBae Life. We can continue this in episode. You know.
That's fine. I'll reach out to you in a minute.
All right.
That's what's up. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. All right. Hey, MBATB family. Y'all go follow MaeBae. She a sweetie pie. And I want to thank everybody. You continue to support me, please. It's something that I really believe in. It's very positive, and it's done out of love. So please continue to support me. I'll holler at y'all later.